funny to me when people complain about daily cars with the welded. I'll happily daily this car with straight cut gears for a month. If you complain about daily driving a car with the welded, you don't belong to me in the cars. This is great! I love it!
I think the only thing I could, if I was gonna complain about anything with this car, would be the fact that I don't have a cup holder, and I'm trying to make a Starbucks run right now. So that's a problem, but yeah. So it's kind of funny, I made a joke tweet about like how trying to get more seat time in this car is kind of driving it around town and everything. But all jokes aside, it's actually been kind of good driving this car around because we've been able to find a few more little bugs with it that we won't have to sort out on track, so it saves time and money. One thing, the cable that came with the same Sonas, the little end popped off so the car actually wouldn't go into neutral, so luckily I was able to get back here. But that's just a stupid little fix that like it's nice to take care of not at the track and here while we still can. And then the starter that we have is starting to act up a little bit where sometimes it'll start and sometimes it won't. So even though they're stupid little things, it'll be nice to have them sorted before we go out to the track so we don't get stranded trying to sort something out when it's a dumb easy fix that we can do here. Today's actually going to be day one where we start to get working on this chaser. Today what we're going to be doing is starting to disassemble everything in the rear end. Main reason being, right now the car has an open diff and I'm not happy with the gear ratio, so we're going to be changing the diff. But we're also going to pull the subframe because there's a few reinforcements I want to do, as well as if you notice, since this car was an NA 1J car, the Avant, it's missing one diff bushing. So you can actually weld a piece in here so you can have 2 diff bushings in the car, which is really necessary when you're drifting and clutch kicking with higher power applications. Otherwise that diff will start to clunk around like crazy. We've definitely got our work cut out for us today, but this is the start of all the fun stuff. First step is removing the exhaust. Careful, but the floor is really slippery. I think the only thing I don't like about doing stuff like this is like knowing that it's not going to be done today, like gives me less motivation to do it, if that makes sense. Like I love doing projects where I'm like, okay, tomorrow we'll have the car back together so I can enjoy everything I just did. We're like trying to jump into a project that's going to go on for a longer period of time. Kind of is less exciting to me. But it is a chaser, so that's cool. Roberto's actually working on the Skyline right now, taking apart my alternator because the alternator went bad on that car and we're gonna do a different alternator. So he's gonna be doing that, but he'll give me a hand when it comes to lifting the heavier stuff. Interestingly enough, this thing was actually like hard mounted to the chassis. Never really seen that before, kind of interesting. But yeah, we're not gonna be using this thing again. We actually have a pretty cool exhaust setup that we're gonna be doing on this car that's different than I've done on any of my other cars. Won't be doing it for a little while because it's gonna be kind of like the last step, but if anybody wants a JZX100 dual tip exhaust, great quality, for sale. What do you think, Tom? Good idea?
I think it looks good.
Does it fit? Look at that. Sick, right? So we can just drag the wall with this gnarly exhaust. So interestingly enough, if you guys don't already know this, the exhaust on this car actually dumps right where the subframe is. That way if I do hit a wall or anyone hits into me in the rear end, basically nothing important is in back, so nothing will really get wrecked. That way you don't have to worry about your exhaust getting smushed and hanging off or flying off or anything. So, we don't need this anymore. Now we've got a good old drive shaft to take out. Next up is Mr. Drive Shaft. Just as a reminder, if you're wondering why I didn't like really drive the car around that much beforehand, it's really not that fun with an open diff. It kind of takes out all the enjoyment out of the car, so I'm just gonna do this all at once. It's been a while since we've worked on cars. This kind of feels good. It's a little weird though not doing it out of my house. If you guys don't notice, you're actually elevated right now. Normally when I'm filming stuff underneath a car, the camera's on the ground, so you have like that super low angle. But I thought smarter, not harder this time. So wait till you see the new setup. There we go. Done. So if you've watched my videos for a while, you know I'm always reaching on the floor for all the tools and bolts and stuff. We're being smart this time. We got a little table set up. How rad is that? Life is good. As I'm under the car, I'm kind of looking around, and I knew about this before, but I'm pretty sure I'll have to look into it a little bit more. I think this car's a leaky rear main seal. And if that's the case, I end up pulling this trans, I'll probably end up swapping it with a newer CD. Probably just get one new from the dealership. Used one's like 900 bucks, so I can sell this one for a decent amount, even with the little notch. Shulman actually wants it for his car since it's a drift car and he doesn't care about the notch. And I can get a new one for, I think they're like 1,600 bucks, and then just never have to worry about it and just have like butter smooth synchros and everything. So we got the exhaust out. Next thing we're gonna do, I don't have to pull it off right now, but I think I'm gonna leave all the arms and stuff on. I'm not doing new arms on this car because you don't need to for factory adjustments. So I'm gonna start taking all the axles off and everything. I'm gonna pull the diff off first. That way it's not super heavy when I try to pull the whole subframe off. I guess it might be easier to leave it all. I think I'm just gonna, I don't know what I wanna do. I'll just pull the diff out first. Little ghetto trick, since I don't feel like crawling up in the car to go pull the e-brake, we can just engage it like this. So we can pull those axle bolts out. We just need to put some weight on here to get it to hang down. Good old LZ Fab over here, coming up with all the solutions. All right, let's see if that's enough to keep her tight. Good now. Wow, that's tough. Jeez, make sure it's in there. Oh my god, that was tight. Probably hit him with a PB blaster or something. Alberto, I needed to pull the handbrake to get the wheel to not move. Check out my ingenious design so I didn't have to keep lowering and raising the car.
What do you do?
Tell me what you think about it. Look straight ahead. Look ahead. Look here.
You're just waiting on the cable. Oh, well, it works, I
Right?
guess.
It's pretty smart, right? So I don't have to keep lowering the car and raising it.
It works.
I'm just saying, like, I'm gonna get this done faster than you because I thought of that idea.
All right.
Are you proud of me?
Yeah.
He's never proud of me.
I am pretty surprised. I was pretty clever.
It was kind of like a dumb idea. I was like, I wonder if this will work. I don't feel like lowering the car, and it worked.
Yeah, no, that works perfect.
Yep. Axle bolts are super, super tight in there, so I have to keep on like hammering the socket in to make sure it doesn't strip out and like soaking them with some WD-40. But she's coming along. Finally, it's time to start removing the diff. I feel like it's been taking forever since I haven't been like doing this in a rush and just kind of slowly taking my time. Kind of becoming impatient, but oh well. I'm taking out the back ones first because then I assume I can just impact out the front ones and then have Alberto like hold the back of it while I do it. And then we just lower it down. It's a lot easier when you have two people. Does this car not have a rear sway bar? Huh. Interesting. I didn't know that. Guess I'll have to add that to the list. I got the front. Here, I'll tilt the axle. Okay, wait, one side. Yeah. Alright. You got her? Mm-hmm. Okay, diff out. Now on to subframe stuff. Next steps are just going to be to remove the arms. I'm just going to let them dangle because I don't want to take all this stuff off since I'm leaving it here. Man, it'd be nice to powder coat those brakes though. Must resist, must resist. Okay, so I gotta remove these braces. I'm just gonna let the axles and the arms hang, and then I'll just have to pull the e-brake cables off, and then I think that should be it, and we can drop the subframe. We have successful JZX100 subframe removal. Not really that hard, kind of time consuming. I pretty much did it myself. I just asked for a little bit of help so I wouldn't crush myself under the diff for the subframe. Interesting though. So in retrospect, I think what I'm going to end up doing is having all the OEM bolts zinc coated. I don't think I'm going to do aftermarket arms on this car, so you don't really need them. And these bushings aren't in terrible condition. It would have been easier to take all the arms off out of the car with the subframe. If you remember how we did the Skyline, you can kind of drop everything at once. But I kind of wanted to just try it this way. I don't know why, but I thought maybe I'd be able to get the subframe out a little bit faster. Probably would have taken the same amount of time, but anyway, it's out now.
and we'll let you guys know what the plans are with it.
If you didn't already assume this, we're going to be removing the subframe bushing so we can do new ones. And believe it or not, this is probably going to be the easiest subframe bushing removal in the world. So we can just basically tap a screwdriver in between the metal and the metal of the subframe bushing and the subframe. As long as we work it around, I think these should just pry right out. We don't have to do any cutting, any burning, or anything. Because JZX100s are the best. What's up?
Can you think of any sort of object? Bye, Albert.
Are you guys ready for the good part? This is about to be the easiest subframe bushing removal we've ever done. Come on. Need more leverage. Come out. Come out. Come out. Need a sturdier table. Look at that. Normally, you have to like burn these out and chisel them out, and it's a mess. I literally just tap that out. Alberto, you see that? How exciting is that?
That's pretty easy.
Can you like give some legitimacy? So if people don't know, like how rad is the JZX100? How much do you like this car now just because of that?
That does make it very easy, unlike other cars that you have to like literally destroy the bushing to get it off. I saw you like in a couple minutes you took it right out.
Yep, and then even easier, the rear ones, literally all we have to do is just unbolt this and just slide it right out. How sick is that?
That's really cool. It's handy.
Yeah, right? And putting the new ones in is even easier. Just got a Scotch-Brite in there, but sick, right? Now this diff bushing is going to be a little bit more of a pain, so we're going to have to end up drilling this one out. Drill technique where you basically drill into the rubber and walk the bit all the way around. Gonna make a mess. Made a whole big mess. But I got all that crap out. Now this metal piece should tap out. I was told just gotta make a little slit in it to relieve the pressure, and then we should be able to just tap it right out. So just gotta get a Sawzall bit and just be nice with it.
Hey, got it. I cut a tiny bit too deep, but not too bad. I think we're okay. I almost had Alberto do it because I didn't trust myself to not cut through all the way, or to cut through too much, I should say. I did cut through a tiny bit too much, but we're talking just a scathe, so we're chilling. So the homie Fidel Cashflow over at Odyssey Fab is the one who's going to be doing the custom manifold, downpipe, and intercooler piping for the JZX100. And he happens to be the JZX100 plug in Florida and sent me over his own subframe reinforcement plates that he makes. So that way we could weld them into the subframe before we go and get this thing powder coated. So you want to go and figure out where all these things go with me, Alberto?
All right, let's play Legos.
Did you find it? All right, number one.
Yeah, I think I was supposed to shoot it there. Wait. No, this one goes here.
It's getting kind of late, so I don't know if Alberto's going to have time to actually weld in the reinforcement plates today, but we wanted to start fitting them up. That way we could start seeing where paint needs to be stripped, since he needs to have a well clean material surface area for where he's going to be welding. So this is kind of where the plates go to add just some nice rigidity and stiffness to the subframe. So just looking around, this guy goes right up here. We figured most of them that, but we had to ask for help on a few because they were kind of tricky to find all the little holes and crevices where they go. But pretty excited. This thing's going to look sweet when it's all powder coated up.
I don't know what color I want to do it. Feel free to give me some suggestions. What I did learn though is doing the crazy candy colors. When you powder coat stuff and do multi-stage like candy stuff, it's actually thicker, and when it gets thicker, I think because of the way that it's baked or whatever, it becomes more brittle and it tends to chip a little bit easier. Anybody that is into BMX probably knows this as well from having like translucent colored frames. The powder coat tends to chip easier than on like a single stage powder coat. So right now I'm leaning towards just kind of like a metallic gray on the S15. If you guys remember, literally the same color that we did this subframe I thought would look cool. It's pretty sick. It looks kind of OEM and clean, but at the same time, it's like cool enough to not be OEM. So, also in addition to that, I wasn't planning on doing arms, but Serial 9 makes some pretty sick arms to this car. They're like white and green, so maybe we will. I don't know. It's just gonna suck to put like a nice pretty subframe up there with those ugly arms. What do you think, Alberto?
I look alright.
I want arms, dude.
Yeah, get a lot of arms.
Let me get some arms, dude. You got an arm on your shirt, dude. Look at that. Dude, I honestly think that like we might need to enlarge that muscle on the shirt. Yeah.
Shrink it down.
No, I think your boost.
Boost.
Do you think that you could lift more or less than when we made the shirt?
I don't know. That's a good question.
There's only one way to find out.
I mean, I lifted it pretty easily. I thought it was heavier than that.
I think we're gonna need a time machine, Mr. Alberto.
Time machine?
How else are you gonna arm wrestle yourself from the past? What if I could beat you in an arm wrestle?
I will literally quit being Big Boost and just like go crawl under a rock or something.
All right, guys. That's my New Year's resolution. I'm gonna get buff. So if you guys have any recommendations on pre-workout, a good workout regimen, maybe a great workout social media account I can follow to get motivated and start doing big things with my life, I would love to overtake Alberto Big Boost and take your name from you.
So you're gonna be Big Boost Adam?
No, I'll be Mr. Little Boost gone big.
That's a good name.
Why do we hate RB alternators?
Because they're not regulated well enough.
What does that mean?
So there's voltage drop everywhere in a Skyline or anything with an RB. So stuff that's supposed to get constant 12 volt, it doesn't see it. So your car doesn't run as good.
And my car's voltage, the signal was showing was dropping and fluctuating as low as like 8 volts. So our friends over at Rob Brokerage conveniently make a kit that lets you adapt the RB alternator, which is expensive and sucks, to an LS alternator. Now what's really cool about it, and Alberto didn't believe us, tell us.
So the plug is the same. So it does connect right up.
Pretty sweet, huh? Look at that. You've seen it here first. So this is an 04 Pontiac GTO alternator. And we got ripped off and paid $100 too much because we wanted one today so we could drive the Skyline. But we got one. And the person that ripped us off, I hope that you have a bad day.
Oh, I'm gonna return that. Don't film this.
Alberto's helping me fix a cold start on the Skyline, which he got very, very nice now. And Martin was actually on TeamViewer helping me get the revs a little bit better because the car's always revved kind of funny. So, very productive night. New alternators, killing it. What?
Your fuel, sir.
Oh, I won't. Now I get to enjoy driving this thing around since it's been a minute. Don't want to push my luck driving that 15 around too much. Funny story, I never purposely made these taillights orange and red. I just only had 2 red bulbs and 2 orange bulbs. It kind of looks funny. I kind of like it. Can't catch a break. This thing's misfiring now. I did one pull and it did another weird backfire thingy. Ever since that day at the drag strip, this thing's just been randomly fouling plugs out. So hopefully there isn't a bigger problem that we haven't found. Back home now, coming up with a plan for tomorrow. I got some laundry, gonna make some food. It's not like 10 p.m., it's not too late. Check out this sweet new interface I got for my guitar so I can hopefully just record stuff and make it sound really rad instead of just recording the sounds that come out of my amp. So we're gonna play with this maybe a little bit tonight. I'm not gonna go too crazy though, otherwise it will be 2 a.m. very fast. So maybe we'll just test it real quick and then we'll call it a night. It kind of took a while to get figured out, but my friend Matt, who actually lent me that 7-string before, helped me out figuring out all the settings and presets and everything, getting it so I can monitor. Right now I'm just kind of doing it on GarageBand. I made a quick little backing track. Man, My mouth really hurts. I think it has something to do with being sick. Kind of hurts to talk right now. So what I thought I'd do is I just play over a little backing track I made real quick. It's kind of cool not using an amp. It sounds really cool. And then I figured I would just kind of show you how rad it sounds compared to how it used to sound. So I thought it would kind of be cool as well just to show you how rad this preset that my friend Matt made for me to use is without any like backing tracks or anything clouding it all up, so you can actually hear how clean it sounds actually recording right into a computer rather than before when I was having to like go through amps and stuff. So. Alright, and that's that. Hopefully it'll get to a point where I'm comfortable enough with this software and this interface that I can do that in a short period of time rather than spending like 3 hours just trying to figure out how to get it so I can hear it and record it on my computer. So anyway, that wasn't anything that I'm like proud of playing wise. It's just cool for me to actually be able to record right into my computer and it sounds sick and I'm stoked. I don't know what I'm gonna do tomorrow. I gotta figure out what project I want to tackle. Got a lot of like stuff to catch up on, but it's cool now that we're back on daily track. I don't have to worry about trying to film 2 videos in a day, so that's tight. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Appreciate you, and there's a lot of cool stuff going on. Okay, bye.